Hello everyone, and I'm glad that we are bringing together one more episode for you, and this time we have our own PDG S. Nagendra. He has been known for his expertise in training and the kind of help that he has rendered to our past few and the future leaders as well. So welcome Dr. Nagendra. Thank you for giving us the time, and we're really happy to hear from you. And to jump into it directly, the first thought that comes to my mind is how important is training in Rotary for Rotary leaders, because they are all business leaders anyway. So what is it that makes it so important?
Thank you for this opportunity. In fact, training is very important for any organization, more so for Rotary. If you look at the people who have done extremely well in business or any other field, they are the ones who have been trained. They are the ones who have the knowledge and skills of the expertise that they need to give. Now, Rotary is something which is very special because it's a worldwide organization and into service in many areas. Could be community service, occasional service, international service, youth service. Now, when we have these facets of service, people should be aware of their roles. They need to be aware of the skills they need to acquire. This is where training becomes important. There are leaders at the national level, there are leaders at the international level. If you take, we have club leaders who are presidents, district leaders, district governors. In between, there are a lot of Rotarians who don the role of chairs of different services. And we have international leaders like district directors at the Rotary, and of course the board itself, Rotary board. Now, if you look at these roles, like for a president, what are the important things that he needs to handle? The first thing is knowledge about his own Rotarians, knowledge about the role that he has to do for this 365 days being the president. And then what kind of information he should be aware of, whether it is on the fees, whether it is on recruiting people, or whether it is handling the members and their families. Today it is just not members, he has to handle the members and the community around him. So they need training. If you take district governors will have to handle 100 plus clubs, they have to handle so many people. So they have a different role to play which is at a higher level. So they need to be trained, which happens at the International Assembly. For presidents, we have PETS, which is President-elect Training Seminar. Then we have for directors, then we have for assistant governors, then zone governors. We have different training programs. The focus of these training programs is to give knowledge and also the skills that they need. That is why training becomes very, very important. In fact, Rotary has mandated that at certain levels, they need to undergo training, without which they can't take up the roles.
Absolutely wonderfully put. I think there's a strong case for training, very aptly defined, and there's so many things in Rotary that one needs to be aware of, which could be very different from the business world. So thank you for sharing that. On the note where you said that we have these training programs like PETS, SETS, etc., has that been evolving? Because the needs, I believe, are evolving constantly. So any thoughts on how the training evolution is happening in Rotary?
If we look at the history of Rotary, we are almost 117 years organization. And in fact, I have seen Rotary from last 35 years. In this 35 years, Rotary training has definitely seen a sea change. What was there 35 years back and what is now is completely different. Now, if you look at Rotary, Rotary does continuous research on this training. It is not that, you pick certain things there, here and put up a program. No, they do a constant research. There is a team which works in Rotary International on these training programs. What are the inputs required? What are the changes that have happened in the last 1 or 2 years? And looking at the successful presidents, how did they acquire this information? How did they develop? Now, take for example member recruitment. Some clubs do it extremely well. Some of them do it very hodgepodge. Now, if you take a good leader, a good president, he knows the ways how he has to bring in members. The training on membership development indicates that, like how you choose a son-in-law or a daughter-in-law. It doesn't happen, overnight. There is a process involved. Like that, you need to choose members. It is not that you just see some face and say, hey, come on here, join Rotary. No, that is not the way. We need to give them an opportunity to understand Rotary. We need to understand him and his family, whether they suit our organization. Because many of them are very busy professionals. He may be an extremely good businessman, but he may not fit into Rotary because he does not have that time to give or energy to be given to Rotary. He may be a misfit, though being a very successful businessman. So we need to be aware. It is always said that like you can't fit in a round peg into a square hole. Absolutely. So they need to be aware of what Rotary is, and this is one area where presidents are trained. Now there are many ways, like how to handle a project. Complete project management is given to them. They need to understand how do you pick up a project. What is the need for this project? Need assessment. Then who are the people involved in this? Do you bring in any other organization who can support this or take this forward? Because many a times it is 1 year president and he may not be available next year to handle this project. Like for example, we have toilets in the schools. Now, this is a project which Rotary has been doing. But ultimately, if you construct the toilets and if it is not maintained, it's of no use. Absolutely. So that project management comes in here. So every aspect has to be dealt with depending on the scale as well. Like some clubs do mega projects, some may do small projects. But depending on the need, even when we have the pets training or even at the training of the governors. Now, different governors from different areas are trained differently. Here also in pets, like we have large clubs, we have medium clubs, we have small clubs. The input for small clubs is different from the input for the large clubs. So it depends on the need of the training as well. So training is important. That is where we see that people who are really trained and who take up this seriously can do much better.
Amazing insights. I think what we gather is training in Rotary is evolving. It's also customizing to the need of large club, medium club, small club. With a couple of examples, we also see the nuances of how we recruit members, make sure that they fit and fit well. And I think the importance of connecting to members and the members' families, I think that's amazing because that's how member engagement will probably come to life. Amazing pearls of wisdom from your side, Dr. S. Nagendra, PDG. Thank you so much. We really, really value your thoughts and your inputs. I'm sure leaders make the most of what we bring to you through PDG Dr. S. Nagendra. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.